They tell this little anecdote about this Yeke. Yeke are the German Jews that are very exact, very punctual. They're very timely. The Rebbe once said that Yeke told his wife he's going to come home late with his 1 second later because tonight he's starting to say V'ten tal umatar livracha, 3 more words in the Amidah, in the Shmoyne Esrei, so therefore he'll be a second later at home. 5 o'clock he gets up, he has his shiurim. 6 o'clock he starts his shacharit. 7 o'clock he has his breakfast. 7:28 he's done with the morning preparations, ready to start his day. Now he had a son who was more of a Chassidic lifestyle. He has to go to the mikveh, and then he has to learn some Chassidus, and then he has to prepare for davening. By the time Shachris was finished, a half a day was gone. Now one day he was visiting with his father, and he decided to be respectful to his father, to the mitzvah of Kibbud Av that we're learning in the parsha of this week, in the 10 Commandments, Kabid es avicha v'esimecha, leman yarichon yimecha, honor your parents, you should have a long life. So he decided he's going to follow his father's schedule. 7:28, when they finish breakfast, he looks to his father and says, I understand now what the pasuk says, that why when you honor your parents, you have a long life. He says, what do you mean? Look, it's 7:28. I have a whole day ahead of me. Usually that's not the case. But let us focus for a moment about the mitzvah of Kibbud Av. Torah says you should have long life. What's going to be in the time of the eternal long life? In the time of Geula, when there will be the resurrection of the dead, we still have the mitzvah of Kabed es avicha v'esimecha. In other words, those who are going to come back in the moment of resurrection, will their children who are alive, or who will also resurrect, will there still be this parental relationship? Will there still be this father-mother relationship for us to have to honor them? What's the question? They're new people. They're new beings. Unrelated, one can think, to the past bodily relationship between parents and children. So accordingly, there might not be this mitzvah of Kibbud Av V'Ein. In other words, from those who are resurrected. Interesting. There's a great Gaon writes in his Sefer Rav Ba'alim, and he claims and he says that indeed there won't be no such mitzvah, because there will be new bodies, there will be new entities, with no relation to the past physical relationship, parental relationship. As such, there won't be no respect and honor for the parents. Accordingly, he says, really, brothers and sisters who resurrect might technically get married because they're not brothers and sisters anymore. So the Rebbe says the following on this concept. Really, that this could depend on how the resurrection would be. There's one opinion, and this is a commonly known opinion, that the resurrection of the dead will actually start from the bone loose. In the back of the person's vertebrae, there's a little tiny bone, which tradition has it, that this bone doesn't decompose. In fact, this is the meal that we eat, Melave Malka, we feed that bone. And this bone is eternal. They claim that behind the crematoriums they found many, unfortunately, ashes, but also little pieces of bone. They claim that this is this bone that cannot be decomposed. So if that's the case, that the body is going to be rebuilt from that loose, from the original human being, so then there's still a bodily connection. So then certainly there's a mitzvah of Kibbud Av V'Ein. Maybe then, according to the opinion, it says that it's a complete new body, one can say, no, then there won't be. Says the Rebbe, no, but that's not necessarily the case. Because in Kabbalah we are taught that the reason for respecting the parents is not just because they give birth physically to a new being. It's because they give birth to a new neshama. They bring about the spiritual dimension of this child, of this new person. So the relationship between parents and child is not just a physical relationship, it's a divine spiritual relationship. If that's the case, then the neshama never died. So this connection, this relationship always stays. So even after the resurrection of the dead, even according to the opinion that says it's going to be a complete brand new body, we still have to honor them because of the neshama that we received, the soul, the divine aspect that we received from our parents. In either case, Rabbeinu Shalom, we want to be able to do the mitzvah of Kabbalah Avicha V'Semecha. Bring us back our parents. In what? In Leman Yarichun Yomecha, not just for the longevity of life now, but for the eternal Yarichun Yomecha, the eternal long life. We want to be able to do the mitzvah. So please, God, make it happen now. It's been way too long. The Arichus Yomim that we have the Golus, the extended time of exile, is already way too long. The time is now.